As everyone is well aware, the public markets were hit hard in 2022. And because that is trickled down into the private markets, inflation concerns, rising interest rates, geopolitical issues, they've all contributed to this roller coaster like stock market. Now, all these compounding crises tend to make people more vulnerable and more shaky because they're anticipating a recession on top of the aftershocks of a pandemic. Now, as a business owner, these are all causes for concern for our businesses, but your employees are concerned too. With recession fears looming, company August Bankrate did a survey and they said that 40% of workers are worried about their job security heading into a potential recession. Glassdoor has identified that employees' confidence in their employer's business outlook is wavering and deteriorating. That means your workers don't believe your business is going to survive this storm. You're the organization's leader. And as such, a leader needs to be a visionary, a strategist. But during these economic times of uncertainty, you must prioritize your response and respond to your team needs. Despite your own fears and your concerns, you have to be that calm, stabilizing force. If you're running around frantic and frenetic, and that energy is just going to disrupt and be disturbing to your employees. So how do you successfully lead your team in an economic downturn? I want you to follow these 4 principles. The first is you need to be proactively transparent. Share as much information with your team as you can. Don't be afraid to over-communicate through times of change or stress. Your team needs to know that they need you to know that they can trust you and that you can trust them. That means give a sobering assessment of the reality. Address the brutal facts by stating, here we are and here's what's happening. As a leader, you don't ever want to deny the truth. You want to see it. You want others to know that you know it and see it. And as a result of knowing it, you're able to properly deal with it. Then you're going to need to paint a picture of a logical reason to have hope, not a rah-rah session. You want to tell them your plan. Hey, we're doubling down on marketing. We're increasing manufacturing. So how are you? You want to let them know how you as leader are stepping into to address the situation. And I know the situation can seem bleak, but you have to find that light and point it out. Find that light, even if it's only a crack under the door. Find it and point it out. Give a reason to have hope. Second, you have to prioritize your communication. Key information should always be handled with the 3 R's. You want to repeat, review, and reinforce. If information is only shared once, you can't know that they're even receiving it or they've even understood it. So you have to reinforce and repeating the information on a daily basis via multiple delivery methods. It helps it sink in and helps them retain the information. Your people are overwhelmed with the information from the news and all these other sources. So when you do communicate, deliver the essential information quickly, clearly, and transparent. Focus on the essential information and embrace brevity. Share what you know when you know it. But you also want to explain before the questions and concerns come up whenever possible. Taking that initiative to connect with your team and answer their questions, they'll likely show them that you're on the front line dealing with that crisis and that you're there, right there, willing to support them. Remember, when information regarding what's happening is scarce or non-existent, people always revert back to gossip and rumors, and they tend to MSU, make stuff up. But also, you need to stop and do the quiet work of leadership. People hear leadership and they're thinking Washington crossing the Delaware, King marching on Selma, or a 5-star general taking his troops into battle. But that's the public side of leadership. Standing in the front, building teams, getting strategic, offering direction, and rallying the troops. But there's a quiet side to leadership too that's equally the leader's job. That quietly thinking and reflective planning. You need to review and assess your current situation, defining your outcomes, adjusting plans, shifts, adjustments, pivots. It's all a consistent thing for leadership, especially in these uncertain times. But doing this haphazardly is going to just lead to a bunch of problems. So make reflective planning even more important to maintain your focus. And there's a couple of successful planning methods you could use, three of which are you can try time blocking, where you divide your day into blocks of time and each block is dedicated to like accomplishing a specific task. So, for example, every day from 9 to 11, I'm going to do my writing. Another method, you can do task batching. It's set similar time on your calendar to where you group smaller tasks together. So, from 3 to 5, I'm going to answer all of my emails. This saves you time and distractions from switching back and forth for different tasks. Another method, which I've actually used multiple times, is day theming. It's an extreme version of task batching, but it's for people who have lots of areas of responsibility that are competing for their attention. As a business owner, we often have to pay attention to marketing, sales, product development, HR, customer service support, all at the same time. So with this method, you set aside blocks for each area of responsibility each day, so that the theme takes up that entire day. So for example, Monday, you're just working on sales. Tuesday, you're just working on marketing. Wednesday, just finance. You get where I'm going with this, et cetera, et cetera. And then actually, out of everything that I've just mentioned, the most important thing you can do in a time of crisis is celebrate. Yep, I said celebrate. Now, I know it doesn't sound like it has its place in a crisis, but it's a necessity to celebrate even the smallest wins or minor milestones. Progress is a powerful thing and should be celebrated. Now, think about it. On those days, you or your employees walk out of the office, you're motivated, you're happy at the end of the day. It's because it's a good bet that there was progress made. But if that person or you are dragging out of the office, you're disengaged, you're joyless, most likely a setback's to blame. A study was conducted by Harvard Business Review, and it showed the motivations were affected. On progress days, people were intrinsically motivated. Small progress can lead to feeling like you're doing meaningful work. Their perceptions change too. And on progress days, people perceive significantly more positive challenge in their work. They saw their team as mutually supportive and reported that more positive interactions between team and supervisors happened on those days. On a number of dimensions, perceptions suffered when people encountered setbacks. They found less positive challenge at work, felt that they had less freedom in carrying it out, and reported that they had insufficient resources. So on setback days, participants perceive both their team and their supervisors as less supportive. And more positive perceptions, the more positive perception is a sense of accomplishment, satisfaction. Even elation often follows progress. But progress that goes unnoticed can damage the overall performance of an organization. So celebrate the small wins. Being a good leader in a bad economy has always been challenging. This time around is even more so. The burden of the bad economy compounded by the emotional disruptions of a pandemic. This means that leaders must turn the page of their standard crisis playbook and implement these 4 principles: be transparent, communicate, quiet leadership, and celebrate. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget about the security assessment. Fill out the QR code. We have an offer for a free book for you, another QR code you can click on, and we're giving away that great gift card from our sponsor at Blackpoint. Our team will be reaching out to you on December 16th to announce that lucky winner. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. It has been such a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.